Let me tell you something. Have you ever seen workers who are happy that work in a place like that?
With white people who have whips on their hips?
Sort of would be watching Django and be like, we don't know how much they're getting paid.
When I'm a guest in another man's house, I don't reach into his refrigerator without asking permission.
Refrigerator. Does that look like a refrigerator to you?
Welcome back, you guys. This is the Millennial Classics, and on this podcast, we talk about the best and most memorable movies, music, and culture-changing events from our generation. Mamburi, what are we talking about today? What is the classic this week?
So it's the indie movie that was released in 2003 called The Rundown, which is I think it's an obvious millennial classic.
Okay. We'll talk about the obviousness of the classic in a hot second. Mamburi, do you remember where you were when you watched this movie? Like, do you remember? Because there are very few movies that I remember where I was when I watched this movie. To piggyback on your obviousness of the classic, I think as a movie, it's not a classic. I think because it brought Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to the population, to the public, that's why it's a classic. But this is one of the very few movies that I actually remember watching it. And and we're going to talk about this because it's such an in-your-face action movie. And I remember it was me, my brother, and a couple of friends, and we were at the crib. It was just a really good time. I didn't go to theaters to watch this. It was on DVD. It was at home, but it definitely stuck with me. And it's definitely not the reason for The Rock, but it was our introduction to The Rock in the best way possible.
And you literally just hit the nail on the head on why I wanted it and picked it as a millennial classic, because I literally wrote down on why it's a classic. I said it's like watching the Jackson 5 after Thriller came out. Because it's literally like,
yes,
he's the biggest star in the world. But then when you go back and see, like, I guess you can go back to, like, you know, when he was like the Scorpion King and that weird shit. But like, that's all CGI. Here he has like a bit of charisma. He's like the action. He's pretty much playing who he turns into later when he's like scaling skyscrapers and catching Vin Diesel. But he's just a little smaller and has hair, which we'll talk about the hair later.
We definitely need to talk about the hair.
But Rundown, released in 2003. With pretty good reviews, 7% Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert, 3.5 out of 4. Well liked, bombed though. Made 81 million.
That's not what I saw.
Bombed. $85 million budget.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it made 81 worldwide.
Wait, this was an $85 million budget?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Jesus. All right. In 2003?
Yeah.
Oh God, Jesus Lord! All right, they really believed in him, huh?
It's a pretty straightforward plot. It's literally he plays a bounty hunter, and he has to go down to Brazil and find Sean William Scott and bring him back to LA. And Sean William Scott's a adventure guy.
Yes. This is Sean. This is Sean Scott's. Like, I remember when I see him in a movie, anything during this time, and it hit me while I was watching it, all I could think in my head was American Pie, right?
Yeah, this is his peak. This is kind of his peak.
Oh, definitely.
Early 2000s when he's in like old school American Pie.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of, I put in like when we go in later on like who like this was their peak and who was just getting started. It's pretty much him. And
wait, let's get there now. Let's get there now. We'll talk about the intro in a hot second, but we need to talk about this cast because there's a couple of standouts, and I love it. And
the cast aged really well. Well, not literally aged well, but
yes,
but aged really well.
But no, what you were talking about the Scott, right? But because it's like. You say his name now, and you have to ask yourself who. You actually have to pull out your phone and Google it.
Yeah, Sean William Scott.
Yeah, but during this time, he was fantastic. He was on top of his. So maybe I can understand the $85 million budget. I don't know. I didn't think the action scene.
It was like him and Seth Green. I feel like we're going for like the same roles.
Oh yes,
both like I don't know. They just do their own thing now. Sean William Scott's in he was in the TV version of Lethal Weapon. So
so out of obviously we're gonna talk about The Rock all day, all night, right? But out of the rest of the supporting cast, who was your favorite?
Okay, so this is easy.
Hit me.
It's clearly Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Christopher Walken is so good in this movie. He has the best lines, and I love a movie where the bad guy, it's like, is so old that he's not gonna fight the other guy, right? So all he has is his words, and his whoa. He's got moves. He got moves there.
Yo, Christopher Walken's
when he goes at the end when he gets shot, he's like, "Whoa, got some moves. I'll give you that."
Yeah, I love Christopher Walken. Agreed.
Everything about 100%. He's clearly an evil dude. He literally runs like a slave mine, whatever. Yes. But he brings a little fun into the game. He plays the part really well. His outfit we should talk about because
now I have to Google this. What do you mean? Why wasn't I not? Was it that bad that I had to have seen it? I thought it was a regular outfit like everybody else.
Have you ever seen anyone wear that outfit? It's like this. He wears the same outfit the entire movie. In the beginning, it's like a white undershirt, white beater type deal. In the end, it's like all yellow. He has not changed it.
Jesus Christ.
He wears 2 chains.
Does he really?
His belt is literally tied around his belly button. And he wears that hat that he keeps on taking on and off.
The entire movie. The entire movie. On and off and on and off and on.
But yeah, honestly, iconic outfit. I don't know why more people don't dress up like this Halloween.
It's a horrible outfit. Okay, it's a horrible outfit.
You don't like it?
No, it's not that I don't like it. So it didn't pop out to me. So it's not like something extravagantly extravagant that I noticed.
I was feeling.
But when you point it out, yes, it makes sense because everyone else just looks regular, and he's like the dirty daddy on the crew,
sweating through it.
It's like he's disgusting, but he puts the chains on just so everybody thinks he's.
And he has a pinky ring.
Oh God, it's great. It's great.
And you never actually see him doing anything like athletic. He's always just like,
bro, the dude's 80 in the movie. What do you mean athletic?
There's literally one scene where he's on top of a Jeep and then he like bends down to hop off and then it just cuts to him already on the ground walking. And I was like, that scene did not end well, bro.
The cuts were, yes. No, but it's so funny. Yes, he looks 80 in this movie, but in 2020, he looks exactly like he does in this movie.
That's why I said it ages really well because you watch Pulp Fiction. Christopher Walken looks the exact same.
Yes.
Then you watch this, he looks the exact same. You watch James Bond, he looks the exact same. It's literally like Edward Rosario looks the exact same. Matter of fact, it's kind of wild because it's literally The Rock that's aged
the worst.
Well, but it's not like he's aged worse. He just has changed so much.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to put. I like that you put that on there because yes, it's not he aged worse because he's probably more ripped today than he was in this movie.
Oh, no doubt.
No, yes, but he has changed the most. He definitely changed the most out of the most of the cast. Well, the cast members that matter, right?
Did you like The Rock in this, or like The Rock how he is now? So he's like bald,
Oh, the look. You're saying the look. Which one do I like? The look, but obviously in this.
Yeah.
The only thing. Go ahead.
The only thing that's wild is the hair because I just couldn't get a read on it because I couldn't tell if it was real.
It was definitely fake, bro. It was fake.
My brother walked by and goes, "That looks like Carlos Boozer."
It really isn't. It really isn't. But, it can't be real. It can't be real.
But because it was so black,
Oh, yeah, jet black, like the blackest hair you've ever seen.
But at the same time, this is like this era of The Rock is kind of the last time where he looks like a regular human being.
Yeah.
And I think it helps his acting so much.
Oh my
because
goodness.
like I literally wrote down like the first 20 minutes of this movie, he does more acting than like the last 2 years of seeing him in.
It's so funny.
Because now he's so huge and big that when he's like in Skyscraper and he's like talking to his family, I'm like, who are these little people that he hangs out with? Who are these people?
Right.
Because they're not his family.
Exactly. He has to get like 6-foot actors across the board for him to look regular. And in this movie, in the beginning, especially in the beginning, when he does that big fight scene with all of the football players, you're like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. And in one of them scenes, he's like the little guy when they have those
Which made that part made no sense.
It doesn't,
because he was they literally like looks up and then you're like, this dude's 6'4". How tall is this guy? He's looking up.
They're 7 feet each.
I agree with you. Like when he's on the plane and he's looking at the duct tape and he looks worried, I was like, wow.
Exactly. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
And then he got huge.
Yeah, before we switch off of the cast members, Rosario Dawson, why isn't she in more movies? I mean, in I recently watched Unstoppable, right? And
She's great in Unstoppable.
She's fantastic in Unstoppable. And in this movie, she's fantastic. Why?
Her accent is a little bit...
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. I feel like she's such a great actress.
But she's good in this. And she's in a lot of stuff, though. She was in Luke Cage.
But she's not in enough stuff for... Like, I feel like she should be doing so much more, bro.
She should be like a...
She's so much better than so many actresses that are out right now. It's like, why isn't
I agree with you. Yeah. She's gonna be. She was just in Zombieland 2. That's where I just saw her. And then,
yes.
She's in season 2 of Mandalorian.
Oh, goody! Well, good for her. Congratulations. Yeah, no, that's.
But I agree. She should be a bigger star, and Sean William Scott's right where I think he should be too. I think he should be on TV.
Oh yeah, no. Sean William Scott belongs on TV, and that's not like, and I'm not putting him down in that sense because TV in 2020 is fucking fantastic. It's not like a downgrade. It's just like you need superstars to be on.
Also, they just don't make like comedies and stuff like that.
Exactly, the graunchy bullshit indie comedies. Maybe you could put him there, but he definitely does belong on TV. What's the white guy's name in what's it called? And Breaking Bad. The Heisenberg's friend.
Yeah, what's his face?
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I feel like that's the kind of level of actor.
Better actor than Sean William Scott.
You think he's better?
Way better.
Well, that's
you
because
kidding me?
No, I'm just saying that's because we've seen more of him. I feel like that kind of maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Like 9 seasons of Breaking Bad is a little bit more than American Pie 5, Naked Mile, or whatever the fuck band came.
Okay, let's. What was your favorite scene? Like, let me go through the scenes real quick.
Hit me.
Right. So you have the intro scene with the football players.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you know that footage is actually from the XFL that they cut to.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of college stuff.
No, it's XFL footage. And actually...
And those are actual XFL players?
No, I think they're fake college players.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, some of it was good, but that Kambui Jackson, the fullback with 2,000 rushing yards, I was like, okay, I don't know about that.
No fullback in the history of football.
2,000 rushing yards?
Since 1905 has read over 1,000
Oh, Jackson? What are we talking about?
The description, Fernando Lewis plays like Ray, but hits harder.
Jamal Johnson, defensive end. He's the best defensive lineman Notre Dame's produced in the last 20 years. Maybe ever. The guy on his left is Kambui Jackson. Ran for 2,000 yards last year. All pro 5 years in a row. The guy in the headband, that's Fernando Lewis. Middle linebacker. Plays a lot like Ray Lewis. Just hits harder.
I mean, Ray literally killed somebody, so I don't understand how you can hit harder.
One of my favorite lines that has aged the absolute worst. Yeah. Plays like Ray Lewis, but hits harder. All right. Okay. It must be Lawrence Taylor. He must be talking about Lawrence Taylor. Mm-hmm. But okay, keep going.
That entire intro is so ridiculous that it just sets the tone of the movie because it really tells you The Rock is like, he goes up, he's like the fan, and he's pretty charismatic, but then he does his whole option A, option B, which just option A, option B, it needs to be used more in movies because it kills the whole movie. You know it's coming.
Exactly. It stops with the fuckery. I appreciated the option A, option B a couple of times.
That scene, it ends when they get outside. Then you have the Christopher Walken intro where he goes in, he's like, oh, like if I'm going into someone's refrigerator, I let him know, whatever. Slave cut, and then that continues into the bar. Right? So that whole fight scene with the whip. We got to talk about whips, by the way, because whips are big in this movie.
Very big. Weirdly.
Then like the whole rebel fight scene with the monkey trap.
Yeah.
Thing. That was, first of all, that monkey face gag was the worst part of the movie.
I'm so happy. Remember, we think so much alike.
No,
watching this movie, I was like, what the fuck is up with these monkeys?
Wow, there were so many people that were in a room together and they were like, we got to have a monkey hump the Rock's face and they don't pan away.
No, it's so weird. It's the worst part of the movie. It would have
been better if it humped Sean William Scott's face. That's an even better solution
than them humping the Rock. It's just the whole thing is bad. You know what? Fuck the humping Sean William Scott. Just get him out of there.
Just get the monkeys
out of here, please. Okay?
Yeah.
Just have them in the background while they're walking around and point them out. But just not a full scene about monkeys, please.
Yeah. And they come back too.
Exactly. They
and then the final fight scene.
So it's an easy one for me. Minus the monkeys, the rebel fight scene. Minus the monkeys.
The rebel scene is so.
Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. Don't say it.
I don't know. When they do the whole like, who's better, Mike Tyson or
Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali. I'm just like, this is. I don't know. And then they go like, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And I'm like, man, bro, villagers. There needs to be someone in. There needs to be like someone that they send in who's a villager and just be like, come on, just write us a little bit better.
Exactly. Make us look. Up until the float like a butterfly screaming scene, I really thought that bond after they fought. Like I thought the fight was fantastic. Cut the fucking monkey shit out of there. The bonding, right? He's like, you're a great fighter. You should take this chain, right? That is great. Minus the sting like a bee fight. Like
literally kill him off 5 minutes later.
They killed him off 5 minutes later, and that. So you think of Christopher Walken as a bad guy because he says like dumbass shit, like all the bullshit that he says, right? When he just steals someone's $10,000, he's like, yeah, put it as a charity. I'm like, $10,000, dude. I just had to change a heart. Look, he's a bad guy, but when he kills these rebels, like straight up kills them, you're like, this dude is not playing.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought he was a bad guy when he points to his refrigerator and it's just like thousands of people working in it buying for nobody. I don't know about you. You worried about $10,000. I was like, whoa.
No, look, listen. At that point, you didn't know how much he wasn't paying them. You thought that they were just workers and workers, so you thought they were just getting paid, and he just looked over it.
Let me tell you something. Have you ever seen workers who are happy that work in a place like that?
With white people who have whips on their hips?
Sorta would be watching Django and be like, we don't know how much they're getting paid. We have to hear it from the master. We don't know. Maybe Kenny paying him a lot. We don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Stop. No, but that was my favorite scene. And I thought that was the best action scene in a great action movie. So that rebel fight scene is fantastic. The choreography, the jumping from the trees, which I thought was fucking ridiculous. Halfway through the fight, you're going to start climbing a tree.
When those two tiny, were those guys Brazilian? I thought they were Asian like halfway through.
I know. I thought they were Asian.
But I didn't want to ask them.
They're all questions. Brazilian and they're speaking Portuguese. But yes.
When they threw the rock up 40 feet, ridiculous.
It doesn't make
but it's like a fun action movie that you get it to them. Right? But like the beginning, like this movie has a lot of holes that you just have to like throwaway because you can't think about it.
Give me like a major hole. The Rock going up 40 feet? Yeah.
All right, these rebels have evaded this dude for years and years and years. The Rock shows up and they just fight this motherfucker the first night.
Right? And then they die that same night.
Yeah.
No, which is, no. Of course. All right. Yes. No, of course. There's definitely crazy, ridiculous fucking holes in this movie.
But other than that, I mean, and then...
Wait, was that your favorite scene?
No, my favorite scene is probably the end when you get the whole... He picks up the guns because the guy's in trouble.
Yeah.
He does the option A, option B to Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken has some iconic lines at the end, and then but he's still just chilling in that room with the cameras.
Yeah,
which is I love those like it's this, and then the bad guys in Bourne Identity and Supremacy where they're just like in a room with lots of screens and they're like
watching things.
Get Jason Bourne and we lost him and stuff like that. I love that stuff.
You're right. I mean, because that's like if you're the big shot bad guy, that's what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, because all the other guys are gonna die.
Of course, and especially if you Christopher Walken's age. Okay, you're sitting in that room as long as you motherfucking have to. Yeah. But during your favorite scene, during that last ending scene, in the beginning of the movie, I hated Declan, the pilot, who's Irish. But that scene, the build-up with him saying his bullshit when the truck is about to blow.
That's exactly what it is. It's all bullshit because it means nothing. And it said if he was an American and he said all that stuff in a regular accent, you'd be like, what is this dude talking about?
Exactly.
Why don't they shoot this guy?
Right? You're like, why Christopher Walken let him walk in by himself playing bagpipes?
There's one egregious cut where he's in the middle of the road and then all these cows come out of nowhere and it cuts back to him and he's in a bar sitting down.
Yes, and in the scene prior when the cows come out behind him, they're literally like 10 feet behind him. Yeah. It's not like he has a half a mile to get ready.
So the camera cuts, he dead ass sprints to the bar, stops, calms down, and then the cows come.
And he's talking to the old lady. No.
But yeah, so my best scene was the final. All right, so do you think? Wait, so who is the MVP for you?
So it has to be The Rock. I mean, for me, this is the introduction. Wait. Oh, yes, so most definitely is The Rock. But before you tell me your favorite, Burry, was I correct in seeing the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger was a cameo in the beginning of the movie?
Mm-hmm. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I knew I saw it. And it was the quickest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, how are they not going to capitalize on this?
He says, like, have fun or something like that.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come back in. But anyways, no, it was obviously The Rock. And like...
Yeah, the story is like he was like on set at Universal while he was governor. And then Peter Berg just walks up to him and is like, do you want to be in this movie for a quick second? And he was like, yeah, sure.
Like you think of it like today and you're like, holy shit, how is like a Donald Trump, who was like a reality star, the president? Arnold Schwarzenegger really was the governor of California.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. No, but MVP, back to what matters. MVP is obviously The Rock. Like you said, like, yeah, because this is when we get to know. And like, look, listen, I'm not going to say that this is The Rock's best movie. By far, I don't think it is. But it's definitely a classic because it introduces The Rock to us. Mm-hmm. But it like straight on just acting like as objectively as possible. Rosario Dawson, I love her in this movie.
Yeah,
like the only person in this movie who I believe could be an actual human being in real life is Rosario Dawson, right? Everyone else is a caricature of who they're supposed to be. So on acting alone, it's Rosario Dawson, but it's much more than just acting. We're calling it Millennial Classics for a reason, and The Rock is the reason this movie is a thing. So it has to be The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock makes this a Millennial Classic.
Yes,
pretty much off on his back alone. This movie has that interesting thing where the next movie does Walking Tall. I confuse them all the time because they could be titles for each. It's the same thing, pretty much. They both do the same thing, but guy comes in from out of town and kicks ass.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Walking Tall this.
Yes. Again, no. Yeah, when you think of the beginning of The Rock's career, is this movie in The Walking Tall. And when I was watching this movie, right, I did get them confused because there's only one scene. When I think of The Rock's early like achievements, there's many scenes from this movie that I remember, but there's only one scene from Walking Tall where he breaks the dude's taillight with the big block.
Yeah.
And while I was watching this, I was expecting that scene to happen. I was like, when is that scene going to happen? When is that scene going to happen? And I was like, holy shit, that's a different movie. But I'm happy we chose this instead of The Walking Tall because because The Walking Tall can't compare. Between this and The Walking Tall, this movie is so much better in so many ways.
And you asked me, what do I remember where I was when I watched this? I don't remember. But what I do remember, the one thing I remember from when I was a kid when I first watched this movie was the whole thunder and lightning bit.
Yes.
That it kept on doing again, and then the one at the end. And I was just smiling when I rewatched it at the end. And they should have like dug into that more because that was pretty interesting.
I did like it.
But Billy in the beginning and at the end has like the face of a scumbag. That's good casting right there.
It really is.
In the beginning, you're like, why is The Rock listening to this guy? He just beat up 8 guys.
There's no character development in this movie outside of him, and that development is legit. You see it, it's coming, it happens, right? Talking about
who?
Come again?
Who has character development? Did you just say?
Billy is it?
What character development?
No, I'm sorry. You said Billy. I was thinking of Travis. Travis has some character development.
No character development.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, I think
he's the same person. I think Rosario, they try to do it after his entire family and friends get slaughtered. And then she's just sitting on the boat. She's pissed for 30 seconds. And then she's just like, all right, we'll work together.
We can do it your way. Okay, that's fair.
The Rock kind of does because he kind of like breaks his rule about like no begging, no nothing. Just getting them, which he steals directly in Hobbs. In Hobbs and Shaw and whatever, he's just like, you're just a name on my desk, you some bitch. And does all that stuff, but that's literally from this because he plays a bounty hunter too.
Yeah. That rule that he has about no guns, I love the way they set it up, right? Because
it's so stupid on the face.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, number one. And number two, it's like there's very, very, very few characters, actors or actresses that could be the reason that they're not using guns, and you believe it. You just take it as
they're just like I just don't like it. It takes me to a bad place. And they're just like, all right. But like when you see The Rock do his thing and he says, guns take me to a bad place, you believe it, right? I don't know any other actor because everyone else is going to be like, get the fuck out of here. It takes everybody to a bad place. Give me a reason to believe it. But you just believe it when The Rock says, guns take me to a bad place. Yeah. I like it. I feel like just you don't need any more explanation, and they don't even try. They don't even give like a flashback of him shooting a friend, right? It's like... Yeah. Well, that would make it worse. I think it's better that they just left it off.
Exactly.
It's such a stupid thing to have. But then also for MVP, I think Whip's big MVP in this movie.
Great MVP.
Because I think in a lot of times you have whips in movies because you need them. Like Django, you need a whip in there. If you're doing a slave movie or whatever, you have to have a whip in there.
You have to.
And then if you think about the one movie where the whip was a choice, it doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Right. Indiana Jones.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Kills it with it. Iconic. In this movie, I'm not going to say it's as iconic as Indiana Jones, but I want to say you can tell it's a choice to make these guys even eviler. It just off the bat, you see these guys and they're whipping people.
And you're like, holy shit.
In 2003, and you're like, all right, these guys are just evil.
They're evil.
Off the dome. And one of them uses it as like a legit weapon. Like people around him have guns and shit, and this dude's still out here trying to whip people. And you just see that dedication to his craft, and you just have to like it.
You gotta respect it. No, the whips are a great. Yes, They're fantastic. I love the whips in this movie, and it does make sense for the whole situation. How he has the whole minefield, and he has to get these people to always be working without killing them. It makes sense. They do the analogy to slavery. It's basic. I mean, it actually is
analogy to slavery. It is slavery. What are you talking about? Analogy to slavery.
No, I'm just saying, like, all of it. It makes sense. It's not like out of this bullshit air. Like in movies, after they had created a gun, when people pull out like fucking ninja spikes and shit, you're like, God damn it, that makes no sense. But yeah, it makes sense in this movie. It really doesn't, but it makes sense, and you believe it, and it's believable, and I love it. I love it.
And then I'll say one last thing about Christopher Walken. Then we'll get into casting choices and
who they could have been,
if they can remake it now.
Yes.
So Christopher Walken, one of the best parts is at the end when he goes, "I'll take option B now. I'll take option A."
At the end, after he does the walk,
like he already tried to kill this dude twice. Now he's just been shot in the chest twice, and then now he's like, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. I'll take option A. And then he like limps away. And he's like telling the villagers, like, move out of the way. The best scene is at the end when the villagers are there and they're doing that whole surrounding him part, which immediately I got Training Day, Denzel at the end flashbacks.
Yes.
And he's doing this speech where he's just like, you Oompa Loompas.
Yo, please. Greatest scene in the movie. Bro.
And I love it when, like, true bad guys, they're so pissed. They don't even, like, it doesn't even go through they're mad that you're mad at them. And that, I think, is like, it goes Pelican Bay, Denzel, Training Day, and then it goes Oompa Loompa, Christopher Walken.
Bro, can I please put this in context for y'all? Because in my list of quotes of the movie, 2 of my quotes from this movie came from that speech. Let me just quote it for a second. I put a roof over your heads, a little coin in your pockets, you barefoot
corn,
Indians.
Yeah. Corn in your pockets.
Coin in your pockets, you barefoot Indians. You didn't have pockets before the hatchet came along. I am pumping the blood of the modern world into your backward veins.
Iconic.
You stinking, ingrate Oompa Loompa morons. Oh, yeah. Bro, that is fantastic.
Before I came here, what did you people have? Face it, be fair. I put a roof over your head, a little coin in your pockets, you barefoot Indians. Didn't have pockets before Hatcher came along. I give you life. I'm the heart in the darkness. Face it. You can't run this thing without me. I am pumping the blood of the modern world into your backward veins. You're stinking. Ingrate. Oompa Loompa.
That is the greatest bad guy speech in the world. I love that.
It's honest to the point where it's like the bad guy might be too good for the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's
so almost a wasted. Like there's one of these James Bonds where the bad guy's like a water tycoon, and you're just like, if they had taken this Christopher Walken, put him in that movie, it would have been insane.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's like the A1 quote. The 1B quote would be the Tooth Fairy story, where he's trying to, which I love because in so many of these movies, the bad guy has a bunch of henchmen who don't speak English, but gives them instructions, and they all just run away to do it. Yeah. And in this one, he's trying to tell him about, like, I feel like a boy who got his tooth stolen.
Yes.
And all this stuff, and then they're just not getting it. And he's just like, they've got my tooth.
They got my tooth. They have my
Classic.
tooth. Fantastic scene. And I love this. You guys, Mulberry, I think I might, oh, God damn it. It's The Rock's movie, but
he kills it.
He kills it, bro. He kills it. Anyways, who else could have been in this movie, Mulberry? Who else could have been in this movie?
All right, so for The Rock's The Rock's role, Beck.
Yeah, Beck.
This is who else was considered or offered the part. Robert Downey Jr., Wesley Snipes, Denzel Washington. Now, out of all these, I kind of like Wesley Snipes the best. But that's just me.
I don't like any of the options. I mean, just like I feel
they're
like
not big. So the problem with all these casting decisions,
exactly.
I'll tell you with the other ones. So for Sean William Scott, it was Johnny Depp. This is the one that blew my.
Wait. So say that again.
This is for Sean William Scott's part.
Hit me. What are the options?
Johnny Depp, Ricky Gervais, Billy Crystal, Ben Stiller, Nicolas Cage, and the Ricky Gervais thing.
Gervais.
Because his skin looks like it's not meant to be south of Capricorn. So I'm doing cast of this, but
so you see that? So you see the new Jumanjis when they have Jack Black. Ricky Gervais's explorer character would have to be a lot more nerdier and like geekier, like he is in that. Because there's no fucking way you could have Ricky Gervais do what Sean William Scott does.
I think people just throw these guys' names in because I don't see a world where it was going to be like Wesley Snipes and Ricky Gervais in The Rundown. I have no idea that there's no way that movie was getting made.
Sean William Scott at the same level as Johnny Depp, even in 2003, wasn't this after Captains of the Caribbean? How like
you just say Captains of the Caribbean?
I mean.
That sounds like the porno spinoff.
Bro, I haven't seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies since like the second one. I mean, it went to shit really, really quickly. But this was in the midst of Johnny Depp's.
Yeah, this is after. So that means they were just aiming high.
Okay, I hope so because there's no way. I mean, it's definitely believable because of Pirates of the Caribbean, seeing Johnny Depp do all these things, and it would be super interesting because you never see The Rock paired with people who are like great actors, right? Like Johnny Depp, you could call all the bullshit. I mean, Sweetie.
No, he's a good actor.
He's a great fucking actor, and
The
you
Rock,
would love.
Who's the best actor The Rock worked with?
It would have to be like what's it called? Paul, what's his name? Paul.
John Travolta.
From
John Travolta? From a movie. Get Shorty.
John Travolta is the best actor?
That's a rough go.
Get the fuck out of here. John Travolta.
Let me think about it. Wait. Has he not worked with Morgan Freeman?
No. I'm telling you, bro, they don't pair The Rock with great actors.
It's because he's so expensive. You know why? Because you know what I'm guessing? You know how much he was paid for this? It was $12.5 million for this movie. So I'm guessing.
Wait. For his recent movie or for this movie?
For this movie.
For The Rundown in 2003? Mm-hmm. After making Scorpion King?
Yeah, he was paid $12.5 million. $12.5 million.
I'm just gonna really quick Google what the fucking The Rock's what's it called? All their money net worth is.
Yeah.
What? That's insane.
So Rosario Dawson's part was offered to Kate Beckinsale, Sandra Bullock, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, Bruce Willis.
The Rock and Bruce Willis.
G.I. Joe.
The
second one.
Oh, okay. All right. I would take Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is the best, and Bruce Willis does the same bullshit acting movies that The Rock does. I think Johnny Depp, going back to The Rock, I think going back to Sean Williams, Scott's part, The Rock and Johnny Depp, that would have been his greatest acting partner if Johnny Depp played. But Bruce Willis, I think, would be probably his best. And he was a side character in that movie.
It's Ian McShane in Hercules. That's probably the best guy he's actually acted with. But I
don't know who that is, but
there we go. And then for Hatcher,
so we both agree that Rosario Dawson is easily the best choice.
for out of those three, well, all those people are white people, so it would have had to be like, this is what they do.
Yeah.
This is what they do. When they want to cast a white person, they make them an aid worker. I'm with Doctors Without Borders.
Right? Or they're like an archaeologist or some bullshit.
Yeah.
But yes, no, agreed.
So they would have, the character would have changed a bit. And then Hatcher, it was Jeff Bridges, Michael Caine, and then Tyrion's dad from
Game of Thrones.
Charles Dance.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for putting.
But all those are pretty good. Michael Caine would have been a good.
So look, listen. Thank you for giving me all the options, right? And a lot of these movies we're like, oh my goodness, I can't wait. Like, it would have been so great to see this actor or actress play the role. I think for the rundown, they did a fucking fantastic. Like, all of the people, all of the options for all of the characters you just named, the only one that I want to see different is Sean William Scott's role, right? But everybody else, I'm like, I think they got the best one.
He was cast pretty well because he's supposed to be super annoying. Yeah. And he like kills that. And honestly, this movie's, it's really good because it's like, it's perfectly cast in 2003.
Yes.
And it's still good now with the cast it has. So like, everyone's still pretty recognizable. I've got a list of my own that I've kind of who would play the remake now.
Oh, let's talk about it. Yes, let's talk. I haven't even thought about these options, but yes, talk to me about who you think would do the remake. Just because I keep saying it, but I just want to. I want to let y'all know. I love the casting for this movie, so I wasn't even thinking about alternative options. But please tell me who you think would make the remake in 2020, because that is a great conversation.
Okay, so you have to go the other way, because honestly, if you're trying to do like a big muscle bound guy who is a bounty hunter, then you pretty much only have like Dave Bautista left, because there's not really anyone close to the size of The Rock. I mean, Vin Diesel.
No, but he's not going to do this movie, and you don't even want Vin Diesel.
Don't say what Vin Diesel will or will not do. I watched Bloodshot.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that fucking Vin Diesel, the Bloodshot, Jesus Christ. I just feel I feel bad. I feel bad for this dude. I really do feel bad for him, because Fast and the Furious is all he has. Even when you go back to the Riddick and Triple X, like it's not like, it doesn't compare. Like, he has nothing else. Like, the only thing Vin Diesel will be remembered for is the
Triple X. Triple X is not bad.
It's not bad, but like, in my head, when I think of Triple X, yes, I think of Vin Diesel, but you also think of not Ice Cube. What's his name? Fucking
Ice Cube. Ice Cube. You're right.
It's not
Samuel L. Jackson.
No. Ice Cube. No, you're right. No, I was right originally. Ice Cube. Yeah, because that's Triple X movie was fantastic. It was fucking
okay. So my other two options, I went younger and more, not bigger, but I said Jamie Foxx and Chris Hemsworth, because I feel like they can play Thor.
Yeah, but like,
I'm trying to think.
He can't. Maybe you know how Chris Hemsworth has a twin or a younger brother that looks exactly like him?
Liam
Hemsworth. Maybe he could play this part, right? Maybe, and yes, I do see.
But you have to have like charisma and stuff like that too. That's why I picked Jamie Foxx. I'm not shitting on the other Hemsworth. I'm just saying
there's no charisma there. All right, I hear you. So for the part of William Scott, who do you think?
I said
Rashawn.
Miles Teller.
Oh, that's a decent pick. Wait, Miles Teller doesn't do too much action. I've never is he in any action? He's always in these romantic comedies or Whiplash, which
he's done like the boxing movie. I think he's done.
Oh yeah, he did do that boxing movie, and I didn't watch it.
Jay Farrow, be cheap. I think he'd be pretty cheap. And then Henry Golding.
I don't know who Henry Golding is.
He's in Crazy Rich Asians and.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
The Gentleman.
No, I know exactly who you're talking about. And oh goodness, The Gentleman movie was fantastic, bro.
Yeah.
You saw that? I was so surprised.
That's a millennial classic. That's a millennial classic.
It really is. It's a fucking great. It's a fucking great movie. I love it. Last place, last person. Oh no. We have to talk about who you want as Christopher Walken today, because I feel like Christopher Walken can play Christopher Walken.
Still, I got Paul Giamatti.
Okay, that's fair. That makes
Samuel,
sense.
you could do Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson could do anything at any time. He could be any actor in the history of acting.
Yeah, I got those two, and then I got Zendaya for
Rosario Dawson. Zendaya is too young. She's too young. And I can't get over it. And I know maybe it's just me, but it's that same thing with like Arya Stark in that last season when she had sex. She's just too young. I can't see her.
No one's having sex in this movie, so you don't have to worry about that.
I thought The Rock and Rosario hook up at the... No, they don't.
They don't.
Holy shit.
You're making stuff up in your head.
At least you know where my mind was. But yeah, no. Oh, and that's actually, cool beans. Yeah, then maybe. Yes, Zendaya. Okay. She could be in it. I'm all game. I like your list. I do like your list. But the main character, you're right.
Tough. It's so tough.
That's the tough one, because
The
Rock is such The Rock, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's so hard to find a replaceable, and a lot of it, you're right. It's not the acting. It's not the fucking acting, because he's not that great of an actor. It's the size, and it's the person you are to believe he is in those movies.
And there's the fact that how many movies has he done in the jungle? He done this. He did. Journey to the Center of the Earth. I feel like there's some jungle in there.
Oh, yes.
He did Jumanji.
2 Jumanji movies. He did that movie.
And he's pretty much remaking this movie, action adventure comedy called Jungle Cruise with Emily Blunt.
Oh, yeah, that just came out. The commercials for the trailers for that just came out.
And it's pretty much this movie again. So it's like, they are pretty much remaking it.
They are definitely remaking it. And when I was doing research for this, they said that they would hardcore thinking about a sequel to this movie as far up as 2011.
Yeah, but The Rock wasn't going to do that.
Of course. And that they were trying to get it to be pushed. But if The Rock plays this movie, like, what happens after this? Is it all about him defending his fucking his chef, his restaurant?
I can see it being like, have you seen Chef with Jon Favreau?
Yeah, how is The Rock?
But he used to be a bounty hunter. He now has a food truck, and he goes from town to town collecting bounties and opening up food truck stalls.
Let's just not do a sequel, okay? Let's just not do a fucking sequel.
He's like teaching his kid how to make a fucking brownie sandwich,
please,
and then they have to hunt down.
Please. We're about to wrap this up, but there's 2 huge questions I have for you. 2 big things that have hit me, okay? And I'm going to ask both of these because I really want you to go in on both of these questions. So question number 1, who will go down as the biggest star? Will Smith or The Rock? And then number 2, The National Treasure or The Rundown?
National Treasure is a way more iconic movie. Way bigger deal.
Are we going to talk about it on this podcast? It has to be, right?
He's more weird in that movie than anybody in this movie. And Nicolas Cage
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, and he also has that thing where it's like, you feel like he's so weird. Is he like, can you play a regular person? But in National Treasure, it like all comes together. Like, clearly this dude's weird. He's like collected coins from like George Washington, but he's like,
he's smart enough to find a treasure.
It all comes together, and it's like the perfect. That's like National Treasure is definitely on the list of millennial classics.
Yeah,
it's probably top 5 if we're really thinking about it.
Okay, but Burry, why do you say such drastic things like that? I always believe you up until the last thing you say, because you take it overboard. It's not top. It's just
no. If you really think about it, I might actually.
There's no way.
Flew off the rails in the second one, but the first movie, my God, it's so much. That movie's great, and then
it is fucking great.
So it's not even close.
Okay, so National Treasure, that's an easy one. That's an easy one, right? So, but this question, bro, when I was like, because when you look up the things that The Rock has done, it is insane. It is insane, right? Because he's just been in like, I'd say he's been in probably two of the top 10 movies every year since 2003, 2004. And that's like an understatement. And then last but not least, of course, you have to factor in Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But since like 2000 and when was
if you're counting entire careers, Will Smith versus The Rock, and then you're saying it's a plus, the minus for Ballers because I tried to get through the last season of Ballers and I couldn't even. I made episode 2. I mean, I was done. I was done. So,
Bro, it's so funny because The Rock is willing to say yes to anything as long as the dollar signs are right. Yeah. And I feel like Will Smith is so much more picky about what he says yes to, but he's such a bad pick of what the fuck he'd say yes to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Will Smith would be that guy who doesn't pick a lot of stocks, but the stocks he picks, all of a sudden, they just tank. As soon as he picks them.
As soon as he picks them. Right?
But he does have, I mean, Aladdin was a huge movie. But he has some stinkers. Concussion, Collateral Beauty. My God.
Fucking goddamn it. After Earth. Do I have to say
that's the one Will Smith movie I still haven't seen.
Agreed. I have not seen After Earth. But I also haven't seen Collateral Beauty. That holiday movie.
I watched Collateral Beauty. I was like, maybe he's got it.
Oh. The movie I haven't seen, but I was thinking about seeing during this whole fucking COVID shit is the cartoon movie he did. I haven't seen that with Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of want to see it. I mean, it's just too expensive. I'm not going to rent that movie. Once it becomes a streamer, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna rent Spies in Disguise.
The thing with Will Smith though is his hits were huge. I mean, he had The Rock hasn't done a sci-fi movie that's been huge. The Rock hasn't done a rom-com like Hitch that's been huge. The Rock, the biggest movies The Rock are in, he's not the main character. He plays Hobbs, I mean, which is okay. When he did his own movie, I mean, it did well, but it wasn't like, Will Smith when he does like I, Robot or Hancock, who, I mean, also was with Pete Berg. I mean, those are huge movies.
They are huge movies.
Has he done that lately? No. But
it's been a very
Bad Boys 3 did pretty well. But I get what you're saying because The Rock has a movie at Bad Boys 3 level like every year.
Every year. And like my whole thing is who's going to go down as the biggest star? And I fucking love the fact that Will Smith in the past 5 years has been like, you know what? Like, I'm an actor. Let me go out there and fucking act. And he's been putting himself out there. Yes, a bunch of them have been stinkers, but I'm happy that he's like at bat. Like he's taking swings these days. And he went like a good 5 years of just not doing anything.
And what's the movie he did with Margot Robbie?
Focus. That movie was fantastic.
So the thing with Will Smith, though, when you're comparing the two, is he's a way better actor. Because the first half of Focus up until the end of the Super Bowl, the fake Super Bowl that they have.
Yeah.
I mean, The Rock, I don't think he's ever done a movie that's like that good.
Oh, and another thing, I'm so happy you said that because like, what's like The Rock's best movie where the person I never believed the chemistry between his love interest in any fucking movie. And Will Smith, he's so charismatic. Every co-star that's a female, even if he gets with her or not, you're like, it could happen any fucking second. Any scene could happen. You're right. Will Smith is so much better of an actor. He just is so much better of an actor.
And it's kind of the same problem we talked about earlier where, when he looked like a normal person, a lot of stuff was more believable. Because now when you see him and he's just like, I'm just a regular guy who like, I'm a plumber. Like he could never be a plumber because what plumber eats 6 meals a day and lifts weights all day? You can't do that.
You can't. Yeah. He's like job interest in all of these movies.
In Skyscraper, he was ex Special Forces or ex
Yeah, he was like ex-CIA.
Like keep in mind, he's an IT guy, pretty much, but he was ex. Like, there always has to be, like, and Stallone, all these guys had the same problem where they were like, at some point, they were so big and so ripped that it was like, there has to be a backstory to this guy because you just don't see guys like that walk around, like, at the mall and stuff like that.
And now Rocky 7 makes sense because what else is he gonna make, right? Like, what other movie can Stallone make?
But in Hobbs and Shaw, he was pretty good with what's her face, Vanessa.
Oh yeah, and I'm saying, but like, you switch those roles. Like, you put Will Smith in any of The Rock's like movie scenes, you'll have to like quiet down the fighting scenes because it's not like. Will Smith can't do what The Rock does.
But I'd say Tom Cruise could probably do every Rock movie. I'd say Tom Cruise could do every single one.
Is Tom Cruise a better actor than The Rock?
Are you serious?
Oh, no, you're right. That's not even
Jerry Maguire,
Oh, no,
A Few Good Men.
You're right.
Rain Man.
You're right. Okay, no. So Will Smith. So you're saying Will Smith is the biggest star. He'll go down as the biggest star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. Is that it? Is that everything? Have we talked?
Honestly, if you want a better comparison, it would have been Keanu Reeves and The Rock. That would have been a better comparison.
Keanu Reeves or The Rock?
Because who's the better actor? I actually can't tell you.
No, yeah.
Can't tell you.
That's such a good point because John Wick is like the perfect Keanu Reeves. Like, The Rock needs a John Wick character. He needs that. Right now, Keanu Reeves is going to go down. He's just because Keanu Reeves has the one in the Matrix and he has John Wick. He has trilogies that everyone knows him for, right? And like so The Rock doesn't have that.
And
The Rock
up until John Wick, I mean, Keanu Reeves is doing like what was that? What was that movie where it's like two girls in the bubble bath were killing him in his house or something? It was something like that.
I couldn't even tell you. I haven't even seen it. I don't really
knock or something like
bullshit. That. Yeah. No. I think that is a better comparison. It definitely is, but it's still.
But Keanu Reeves was big. I mean,
it's so crazy to say how big The Rock is, but he really is the same character in every fucking movie.
He did Pain and Gain, and that was pretty good. He was pretty good in Pain and Gain. But yeah, you look through his discography, and it's literally like
that
filmography, not discography. My bad. But Hercules. I mean, he plays Hercules.
Horrible movie, bro. Don't even
like
say Hercules.
Let me say there were some good parts of that movie. There were some interesting things that they did.
And Hercules.
Yes, in Hercules. Why are you acting wild?
Why am I acting wild? Why am I acting wild? You're talking about good movies, and you said Hercules.
I said there was some interesting stuff they did, but you're right. Let's finish this out. What movie are we doing next? Well, you got me excited about National Treasure. I was thinking about The Mummy, but you got me excited about National Treasure. I'm not gonna lie.
I think both of those would work.
And The Mummy's on Disney Plus. Too.
Oh, then let's
not The Mummy. National Treasure on Disney Plus. The Mummy, I don't know what.
Yeah, no, I'm down. Either of those movies work fantastically. Just because it's fucking. Oh, National Treasure is definitely on Disney Plus. But
all right, let's finish up. You little Oompa Loompa. Yeah, I gave you corn. I gave you this podcast, and this is how you were paying me, Swardick. I gave you a coin in your pocket.
Yeah, you fucking Oompa Loompas. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Catch us next week. This was yours. This was the Millennial Classic. Thank you. Deuces.